And we're live with our fifth book of the Bible, the book of Numbers. Welcome, and thank you so much for sticking with me. Today I'll be sharing lessons from Numbers 1 to my new improved outlook to Numbers has really paid off. I didn't think that I would enjoy doing the study and writing the notes for Numbers as much as I have. So now let me share what I have written with you. The book of Numbers begins just after the Israelites wrapped up their first year's stay at their 1 year stay at Mount Sinai and begin their journey to the promised land. The Lord commanded Moses to carry out his census of all the clans and families, listing all the men 20 years and over who were able to go to war. Now, when I read this, I was like, this must have been scary for them. Why go to war? Because they were just about to move on from Sinai, and I'm sure in their minds they're like, are we going straight into war? But God obviously knew what he was doing, and we'll get to that. God then chose the leaders of each ancestral tribe of Israel to help with the census, to help Moses and Aaron with the census. In the list, Judah by far had the highest number of men fit for war, and that was about 74,600 to be exact. And Manasseh had the least. Now, when I read Manasseh had the least, I remembered Gideon. I don't know if you've read up to, obviously, we've all sort of heard the story of Gideon when they were under attack and he was hiding wheat in the threshing floor, and the angel came and said, "Oh, you mighty man of war," and he was like, "Who, me? I'm from the least tribe of Judah," and he was from the tribe of Manasseh. So that immediately came to my mind when he was like, "Oh, he's from the least tribe," and from the numbers I saw, Manasseh had the least numbers. Jesus came from the tribe of Judah, and he was a seed of David. So go figure, big boys coming doing big things. The Levites, however, weren't included as they were in charge of the tabernacle and were tasked with the responsibility of carrying it, everything about it, and the camp around it when they moved. Each tribe was given a designated area to camp, which around the tabernacle. And I went and I saw a diagram of the sort of area, the map, the diagram of like the mapped out area, and it turned out that it was a cross with the tabernacle in the middle. And I told you I don't believe in coincidences, but then let's go. Each tribe was given a designated area, which turned out to be the shape of a cross, with the tabernacle at the center of it and the Levites camped around it. They were to stand guard, that's the Levites now, and protect the people from the anger of the Lord. Now, when I read that, I was like, the anger of the Lord. But then I understood, because the people couldn't just approach the tabernacle. But now that it was right in the middle of the camp, maybe somebody might just feel like, oh, let me just stroll to the tabernacle, and you get yourself killed. So that's what the Levites were there for, to be like, nah, man, go back. In the arrangement, the tribes of Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun were to lead the Israelites whenever they traveled to a new campsite, followed by the tribes of Reuben, Simeon, and Gad. The Levites carrying the tabernacle, followed by Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, and then finally Dan, Asher, and Naphtali. Judah's large number was in line, and this was something that came to me. I actually asterisked this here. Judah's large number was in line with Jacob's blessing on him centuries before. Do you remember when he said, Judah, you will be great, your brothers will bow down to you? So now we see Judah, the largest tribe. Also, Joseph's two sons, if you noticed during the listing, it listed 13 instead of 12 because Ephraim and Manasseh were kind of split. And I came to understand that this was because, if you remember when Jacob was blessing them, he says he has adopted them into his family. So obviously they shared, it was one tribe but like split into two. And here's where I saw God in these verses. From the census, we see the size of the tribes of Israel minus the Levites. And when we consider that this was only the male men of war, see how God is still fulfilling his promises to Israel in those chapters, because there were so many. There were almost upwards of 600, almost 700,000. And then don't forget some trifling people died in the wilderness for being trifling. In spite of all their sin and rebellion and all the drama that had gone down and will still go down, we can see clearly that none of us can escape God's plan no matter what we do. Things may not always go smoothly, but his plan will definitely manifest. And we see this very clearly with the Israelites, that, the promises and the things that are spoken are still, well, in this context, still coming to pass in spite of all their wrong. How comforting is it to know that? See, Numbers is not that bad. So I hope to see you back here tomorrow when we'll share lessons from Numbers 3 to 4. Have a lovely evening. Bye.